So I want to talk about 3 key signs that you have matured in a certain situation. So it could be a relationship, a work dynamic, it could be something that's caused you a lot of pain or frustration, or a situation in which you found it really difficult to make peace with. You might be very triggered by something someone said or by a situation that you're in. And there are 3 key ways that you can identify whether you've matured and you've kind of grown out of the situation and you've dealt with it in a healthy way. Number 1 is when you get to a place where you don't have an emotional triggered reaction to whatever somebody's saying. So if you have found that you're in an argument or this situation's annoying you and you feel it in your chest, or you feel really sad or stressed, or you have this emotional reaction, when you get to a place where you're in a situation that's similar, or you're in the same repeated situation, and you feel a calmness, not a triggering, where you're able to hear that person, hear what's being said without your heartbeat rushing inside your head, then you've got to a point where you're mature enough to really listen to what is being said, or to really observe the situation without all of your triggered emotions coming into it. Number 2 is that you come to a realization of the absolute truth of the situation and you're at peace with it. Now, what I mean by that is sometimes, for example, you're in a situationship with somebody. You spend a long time with lots of potential floating around, and every time someone says, that really famous movie, he's just not that into you, there's loads of memes floating around. I think most women get devastated by those words, he's just not into you. When you get to a place where suddenly your own body, it could be an example of a situationship or at work, goes, do you know what? This isn't for me. Or yeah, the fundamental truth is they're not into you. The fundamental truth is this company isn't interested in keeping you. The fundamental truth is this is where you're at. And you don't feel anxiety, sadness, stress. You accept it as the universal truth that it is, without it damaging your self-concept, or without you wanting to cry and listen to Coldplay. Then you're in a position where you can understand the truth, whether it's good or bad, and know it is for your highest good, that it is for a purpose, that this is because this is not for you. And you can take that without being emotionally attached to it. And then the final one is that the situation, number 3, is that you can take the situation or the person and you can genuinely wish them well. Now, a lot of these stages, it might take a while for you to get through, and you might be hovering between 1 or 2 of these stages. But this last one is the most important one, because otherwise you haven't matured. Because if you can still feel that voice inside your head that says, oh, well, he was an absolute knobhead, or that work was toxic and the people are awful and I hope that they lose all their staff, then you are still in a place of big emotions around it. You're still in a place where you've not matured to look at it objectively without the emotions in it. And when something just happens, you're not going to be in a position to mature past it, but really maturing past it is being able to say, this happened to me, and now have the clarity and space to see exactly why. It doesn't trigger me in the same way that it did when it happened. And I wish everybody, all the players on the board, the very best. And I know that this was for my highest good. That is really getting to a place when you can maturely reflect on a situation and you can make peace with it in a way that means you can move on without having these emotions. And when something else happens again in the future, because you've already got that foundation and you've really worked through maturing in those steps, it won't trigger you the same way, because you'll look at it as, okay, this is another opportunity for me to learn and grow. And this was put on my path for me to grow, not for me to go, oh my God, woe is me, let's get the violins out, this has happened again. What we keep forgetting in human experience is these things are meant to happen in our human world. We're not meant to bypass growth. We're not meant to bypass all the bad and just have the good. It's part of life. So when we understand that this is actually, weirdly, when these happen, these are opportunities to level up every time. When you switch and you're mature enough to see that actually there is always a positive, no matter how difficult, you will find that these things will start to affect you less, because you'll see them as like, oh great, I really learned a lot about myself. I really grew from this experience, and I don't carry these lower energy bad wishes against people anymore. I'm just so in my lane and I'm so happy there. And I'm not being picked out by the universe and punished. I'm just being told, this is an area in which you need to grow. This is a really human experience I'm giving to you. Work through it.